Well, things are looking a little interesting on the forefront of the Pixel 7 7 Pro. Google put out their little announcement thing the other day. They released it on Twitter, of all places. Short little video of people who apparently have got some early access, Team Pixel folks, to the devices. And it's kind of their, ooh, wow, oh, that's a Pixel. I like this, blah, blah, blah. All that cool stuff. Well, they had the device blurred out all the way up until the very end, at which time they show like a little video clip of what the Pixel 7 Pro looks like. So looking at those things, also there's been a leak on some internal documents talking about the prices, and it's fairly reputable. You guys know I don't like to get into leak stuff too much, but I think that it's probably going to end up being what this is, and probably because, well, Google needs to sell phones. So looking at it, looking at the kind of the excitement buildup, it looks like the Google marketing team finally decided to, well, we announced this back in May. Let's go ahead and show it off, right? So I don't know. I've been against that from the get-go because they basically, when they put these things out back during Google I/O, nobody expected them to announce the 7 and 7 Pro there. Everybody thought it was going to be, okay, they're going to announce the Pixel 6a here. That makes sense. That one did indeed get announced and it got launched. However, when it came to the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, putting it out that early really did a number and undercut the validity and legitimacy of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Why? Well, because if the shiny new toy is going to come out in a few months, who wants to buy the 6 and the 6 Pro, which of course have been riddled with issues over the last year. So I think a lot of that was to try and let people know, hey, we're not giving up. We're going to release a new product. Hope is on the horizon. You don't have to worry about the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro anymore. That's kind of the message that I got. And I think a lot of people said, all right, message received, we'll wait. Even though there have been substantial price drops and sales for the Pixel 6 phones here in the last couple of months. And we'll probably see more of that. However, we're on the clock. This is 0 hour getting ready for the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro launch, which is going to be on October the 6th. Today is September the 22nd. So we're basically the 2-week window now. I'm kind of excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to this hopeful fresh start. And I think the biggest thing that we had to deal with the Pixel 6, they co-launched Android 12, which was not a good launch. Like, it had a lot of problems. So looking at what we're going to get now with Android 13, it's had some time to work out the bugs. They put out some substantial update stuff. We've got the Tensor 2 coming out. So this is the second year dealing with the Tensor chip. Hopefully there have been a lot of lessons learned. Like, hopefully they've got a big stack of memos like, we learned all these problems, we learned all these things from our last launch. We're not going to make that same mistake again. And I don't think their reputation can really suffer that. It's one of those things where I think really this has to be as pristine of a launch as possible. And you look around the market, there's never a perfect launch. There's always something. If you look at iOS, I mean, they've had problems with third-party usage and some shakiness with the cameras. The battery life is not that great. There have been a couple of things here and there. Really haven't been the most perfect launch for iOS 16 and the iPhone 14 series. So it's not the end of the world. But when you had a substantial problems that they did with Android 12 and the Pixel 6s, they're not Apple, so not everybody is going to go run out and buy a new Google Pixel phone already. They're already looking at only like 3% or 4% command of the market share. Not a whole lot going on there. And I'm hoping to see an expansion into other territories. And if I remember correctly, I saw some confirmation it's going to be coming to India, which is good. India seems really like the Google Pixel phones. It was great they put the 6a there. It'll be nice to see the 7 and 7 Pro there because the 6 and 6 Pro were not. They had to be imported, and it costs a lot of money. So I think they need to get these phones out far and wide. It would be nice to see the marketing machine get out ahead of this a little bit more and start spinning up some buzz because, of course, the phones are going to be able to pre-order on October the 6th. And I was hoping that they would say what day they're available, but my guess is probably a week to 2 weeks. And this is what happened last year with the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. They had their event, and then a couple weeks later they were out. And that's pretty much most phones nowadays. So that's fairly common in the marketplace. But $599 for the Pixel 7 if that holds, and $899 for the Pro, I think is good because that undercuts all of the other major flagships by so much money. If you look at the iPhone 14 Pro, $999, Pro Max is $1099. You look at the S22 Plus, which I don't really put on the same level, more like the Ultra is what it's more in common with, even though, of course, there's no stylus when it comes to the Pixel 7 Pro. But yeah, you're going to save several $100s there. Even you look at the OnePlus 10 Pro was over $1,000 phone. So the 7 Pro is still going to undercut everything by a couple $100. I think that makes a better argument for it because I don't think a lot of people are going to run out and spend $1,000 for a Pixel 7 Pro. I think $899 is fair, especially if they've got some trade-ins, some incentives, things like that. It could be good for them. And especially whenever LG left the market, they created that vacuum of about 13% market share. Google picked up some of that stuff, and I think that was good, but we got to see what they can do this year. And they've got that little asterisk next to the name for this last year. So if the rumors and the leaks hold, $599, I think if we get a $599 Pixel 7 and it performs the way it's supposed to, it doesn't have the legacy holdover issues, signal standby drain, battery, heat, all those things the Tensor 1 has created, I think that it'll be sitting really pretty because I think a lot of people like the idea of a legitimate and valid third option. A lot of people like the Pixel experience, especially when it comes to the camera. They like the software. They like the bare bones stuff, the different services that get added onto there. So if they can build off of that, generate some excitement, some buzz there, the phones come out, they launch, it's kind of not a problematic launch, then that'll be good. And I think $599, I don't think there's a lot out there that really competes with what comes to the table with the Pixel 6 or Pixel 7 Pro at $599, even a year later. Like Apple didn't address that. They didn't come out with a phone at that price point. Samsung still doesn't have anything really on the same price point, even though they have the S21 FE, which is kind of a little bit more expensive, but more of an on-par phone. So I don't think that Google's in a bad spot here, but it's their story to write. They could make it good, they can make it bad. Hopefully they throw some marketing budget behind it, and we'll see what happens. But I think the biggest takeaway here, if it comes out at $599 and $899 and things work out, the software experience is good, the phones don't have problems, I think it'll be a win for consumers, and that's one of the reasons why I like to talk about them here on my channel. It's a good experience. You get the Titan chip, you get the security, you get the Google services, you get all those great things. It's a nice alternative when you have only two other options to look at, which is, well, Apple and Samsung. And yes, there's OnePlus, but OnePlus largely is kind of withdrawn a lot. I mean, if you look at what happened with the OnePlus 10 Pro last year, launched in December in China, didn't come to the US till what, March? So I think we're kind of looking at that. There's even been rumors about the next series of OnePlus. It might happen again. It might launch in China and then come here to the US several months later. We'll just have to see what happens. But I think the OnePlus phone is supposed to be one of the first new ones with the 8 Plus Generation 2, which would be interesting to see. So that's about all I got here. Going to wrap this one up. What do you think? You guys excited for the Pixel 7, the 7 Pro? Does the $599 and $899 pricing sound lucrative to you? Does it sound like a good idea for them to continue to keep the price lower? That really is a big savings point. I think that's a big savings point, a big sale point for them because not only does it offer a great flagship experience, but also significantly reduce. And I mean, I bought my Pixel 6. Team Pixel didn't send it to me. So if I have to buy the Pixel 7 again, if they send me the Pro, whatever, I'll do that because I'm going to cover both of them right here on this channel. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. We can talk about it. If you like these videos, you like the Pixel videos, or you like the level of support that I bring talking about these phones, and make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button and the notification bell. I put out videos on this channel every single day. I cover all the major platforms, even then some off to the side. So that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.